It's Ketchup Packets.
Hey everybody, I'm Nate.
I'm Sean.
I'm Lewis.
And this is Ketchup Packets. Today, we are watching Chernobyl, Episode 3, Open Wide, O Earth.
Well, Nate, what happened last time on Chernobyl?
Well, I remember that they sent 3 people on a suicide mission to go drain those tanks, right?
Yeah.
Because they were the whole thing was about to blow and kill everybody on the planet, basically.
Well, no, kill everybody in Eastern Europe, but
well, you know.
The cascade effect may well have gotten the whole planet from something
Yeah.
that big, I would think, so.
It seemed
Yeah.
like the bureaucrats were finally getting the message that this is a big problem, too.
Yes.
Let's see. What else happened? Come on, guys, help me out.
What can you think of, Lewis?
Was it Skarsgård?
Yes.
Was there
Mr. Stellar Skateboard.
Stellar Skateboard? Just a fantastic skateboard. No, he was there. He was the party representative,
Yeah.
right? And he's finally getting the clues and
Yeah.
is willing to show that he doesn't know things, so he'll ask questions.
Right, yeah,
To an
he
extent,
seemed very, he seemed like he was going to be a problem initially, but he's shown that he's amenable to reason,
Yeah.
When the reason is very, very stark and in your face, and we'll be
Right.
dead in 5 years.
Oh, and I
Yeah.
believe last episode we also saw that the rest of the world now is aware of what is
Right.
going on.
Yeah.
Right.
But not because they told them, because
Right.
the rest of the world just discovered evidence that this has happened. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Can't keep a nuclear explosion under your hat.
no.
It's totally true.
Or Ushanka.
Is that Russian for hat?
No, it's the furry hat.
Oh,
Sure, the
interesting.
furry
Okay.
one.
Yeah.
All right.
I know that hat.
I'm learning about Russian culture here. This is good.
Well, are there any predictions, or I don't know, do predictions even work with a historical recreation series?
I think those 3 guys who went into the power plant are probably gonna die.
Yeah.
That certainly
they're
seems
gonna
predicted
die.
by everyone involved in the mission. So.
Yeah.
Yes. Also, they have no light and they're in hell.
Yep.
Yeah, the very
just
last thing that
hell.
happened was the lights went out.
Yeah.
Yeah, not good.
Well, should we find out what happens to them then?
Yes,
Yes.
but before we do, hey guys, we have a Patreon now. So if you want to check it out, it's down in the description below. If you want to, go for it. Otherwise, don't worry about it. And thanks a lot for being here. Let's do it.
All right.
Oh, they do have pumpy flashlights.
That's right. You just don't use those till you have to, I guess, because they're a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Yeah. This is just gonna be just balls hot in there.
Oh, yeah.
It's dark.
Yeah, I wonder how hot that water is. I didn't really think about that.
I don't know.
I mean, it is either very, very hot or incredibly cold. Like, I can't imagine that it's like a...
I think those suits do a decent job of insulating you from the temperature of the liquid you're wading through, regardless of what it is, though. you know?
Yeah.
That's probably the least of their problems with the discomfort of this task. Maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, seems like the whole thing's just all bad.
Yeah.
All bad all the time.
Also, you gotta assume that they can't see shit because things are fogging up on their
Yeah,
their
yep,
goggles
right,
all the
You
time.
can't talk.
We don't we don't see that because it's TV, but another television convenience. All of those people would be smoking, like every single one of them.
Oh, yeah.
I think people have been smoking on this show.
Yeah, but
They would all be smoking.
and vomiting up blood.
Any second now.
Look who the cat dragged in. What did I tell you? There's no hiding from you, is there? Eh?
No.
It's easy. It's okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
You had one instruction.
This is like
But she was worried about him and she missed him.
No, but it's radiation.
This is why we should teach classical Greek mythology.
I'm not sure I know the reference offhand.
Orpheus.
Oh, okay. Don't look back at her.
Yeah, like she's come down to the underworld to see her essentially dead husband.
We have visual confirmation that the fire is nearly extinguished. There's also been a reduction in iodine-131 and cesium-137 emissions.
Good. Yes?
But the temperature is rising. And,
There's a spike in zirconium-95. It's from the cladding on the fuel rods.
Meaning what?
The meltdown has begun.
I've heard that a lot of times. Meltdown, but I don't know if I know exactly what it entails.
So when the nuclear fuel gets too hot and the cooling process can't contain the heat, the heating up becomes a runaway chain reaction by itself, and then it literally melts down through whatever is containing the nuclear fuel below it. Literally melt down, falls to beneath, and that causes problems for then the superheated nuclear material underneath, then melting into water, groundwater, and all that stuff. And that's,
I can imagine that would be a problem.
Yeah. It clicked for me to understand what it was when I understood that meltdown is a literal descriptive term of what's happening.
Right.
Stop moving! Get off him! You're hurting him! You can't be in here. Anything. Get out. You can't be in here.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Look, Professor Legasov, you are there for one reason only. Do you understand? To make this stop.
I don't want questions. I want to know when this will be over.
If you mean when will Chernobyl be completely safe, the half-life of plutonium-239 is 24,000 years, so perhaps we should just say not within our lifetimes.
You made Gorbachev hang up.
Yeah.
Not a good sign.
Ionizing radiation tears the cellular structure apart. The skin blisters, turns red and black. This is followed by a latency period. The immediate effects subside. The patient appears to be recovering. Healthy even, but they aren't. This usually only lasts for a day or two. Continue.
So is that the period the firefighter was in? Seeming to be a bit better.
Yeah.
Manifest. The bone marrow dies. The immune system fails. The organs and soft tissue begin to decompose. The arteries and veins spill open like sieves, to the point where you can't even administer morphine for the pain, which is unimaginable. Within 3 days to 3 weeks, you're dead.
3 weeks in that state, imagine.
That is what will happen to those boys.
And what about us?
Well, we've gotten a steady dose, but not as much of it. Not strong enough to kill the cells, but consistent enough to damage our DNA. So, in time, cancer, or aplastic anemia, either way, fatal.
Where's the part where you turn into like a nuclear zombie creature? That's not real?
No.
Oh.
Why did it explode? I've worked the numbers over and over, presuming the worst possible conditions in an RBMK reactor. And I always get the same answer.
Which is,
It's not possible.
and yet, you're not going to solve this here. Not on paper.
So this kind of explains their slowness to react and their unwillingness to believe the disaster when it happened, is that, like, even really smart people with a lot of time to work on it cannot come up with any way this could happen.
Yeah.
Moment by moment, decision by decision. Go now while they're still alive. Talk to them. Because if we don't find out how this happened, it will happen again.
Has this ever happened again?
You have to keep watching.
Be careful.
There have been nuclear disasters since this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nothing of precisely this nature.
There's that time Wolverine and Deadpool blew up 3 Mile Island.
I don't know if that is real.
What's as big as a house? Burns 20 litres of fuel every hour. Puts out a shitload of smoke and noise. And cuts an apple into 3 pieces. A Soviet machine made to cut apples into 4 pieces!
That's a good joke.
I need all 100 men to gather their equipment and get on the trucks.
Do you? To where?
That's classified.
Then we're not going.
Come on, then. Start shooting. You haven't got enough bullets for all of us. Kill as many as you can. Whoever's left, they'll beat the living piss out of each of you.
You can't talk to us like that.
Shut the fuck up.
The reactor fuel is going to sink into the ground and poison the water from Kiev to the Black Sea. All of it. Forever, they say. They want you to stop that from happening.
How are we supposed to do that?
You didn't tell me because I don't need to know. Do you need to know, or have you heard enough?
Yep.
Love that. Just covering them in coal dust.
These guys will do it because of what's at stake, not because they have any respect for you.
Yeah.
Jeez. What a way to go. It's just awful.
I can totally understand her compulsion to sit with him. She doesn't understand the dangers of being near him, I don't think.
Yeah.
It's like he's probably not like radiating radiation, but making direct contact with his decaying cells is still transferring radiation to you.
Yep.
Yeah. Do I look cool?
Oh, God. Lewis.
We've been chastised by the comments for our levity during this show already.
It's all right.
This is like, it's really
Gotta
fucking
laugh so you don't
horrible.
cry a little bit.
Yeah.
You see some puzzles?
Yeah. Yes, it's beautiful.
Oh, it's sad.
I told you. I told you I'd show you Moscow, didn't I?
Yes. Thank you.
You think if she knew the level of risk she was taking that she would be in here with him anyway?
I don't know. It's hard to say.
I'm not eating that is shit. Give me something else.
You even recognize who we have here?
I'm not a nurse, Comrade Dyatlov. I'm a nuclear physicist.
Well then, comrade nuclear physicist.
It's Dyatlov. It's the man in charge on the night.
Butter and caviar sandwich on you. You can get the fuck out of my room.
I think I learned that this actor has really passed away since this show was made.
Really?
Oh.
So special commendation to him for his great performance as this character.
Incredible.
Andrei Glukov, crew chief.
At least they let them wash up a little. Gonna send them to their doom.
We need to install a liquid nitrogen heat exchanger
underneath this concrete pad. There's no way to approach from the interior of the building, so you have to get at it from underground.
And what's above the pad?
The core of the nuclear reactor, which is melting down.
What, like?
You were right. Melting down.
I learned it because I've seen this show.
We can start in the morning. No, we start now. I don't want my men here one more second, then they need to be. If these worked, you'd be wearing them.
Yep.
Smart
guy, yeah.
Yeah, I like that there are like good men and smart people among all this. They're just caught in the machinery that's working against them, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think that's 30 meters across.
No, this is the tunnel, the 150-meter tunnel to get in there. They had to work in like really short shifts, if I remember. Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, maybe I'm thinking of the clearing the roof bit.
That's later in the show, yes. That's no, these people aren't working in short shifts.
We need ventilation.
Fans will put dust in the air. The dust will go in your lungs.
I've been breathing dust in my lungs for 20 years.
Not this dust. I'm sorry. For your own good. No fans.
Why not just give him a fan?
Well, they're trying to avoid things that they know will make the radiation worse.
Yeah.
It's not, I mean...
It seems like they're all... Yeah.
Seems like they're above a threshold where it doesn't really matter to... Remember this kid crying in the tunnels in the first episode while he was turning the valves?
Yeah. It's hard to recognize any of them at this point.
Right, that's why I'm pointing out which ones they are.
Yeah. Thankful for that.
I want you to tell me everything that happened on the night of the accident. Is that all right?
God, that makeup is just so good.
All right.
Making me cringe.
It won't take much longer. I don't want him to die alone.
Stay on the other side of the plastic. Or I'll have you removed by security.
Why won't you follow directions?
On the other side of the plastic.
Think they set that up and like they stay outside it just because they don't love the patients, you know? Like that's the reason that they... Oh my god.
Whoa.
Yeah, at that point, I don't want to be alive anymore.
Garcia.
I wonder how accurate of a depiction that is. I imagine it's probably pretty close to what it would really look like.
Did she just say she's pregnant?
Mm-hmm. Sorry to be talking over that.
Yeah, it's brutal.
All the more reason that she really shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, good point. What's the problem? You won't give him fans.
Exactly, yeah. It's hot.
Just let him work.
Sounds like they're making great progress. Why are you interrupting?
You're not as protected. No.
You tell them they'll make a difference.
Yeah, right.
When this is over, will they be looked after?
I don't know.
He's like, are you serious?
I don't know.
Yeah. Screw you too, bro.
Can't even look after the people who are saving everyone.
Yeah.
Working in sweltering heat underground under a nuclear power plant. Just can't even say, like, yes, they will.
I shut it down. I pressed SF5.
Thank you, Comrade Akimov.
I did everything right. I did everything right.
That guy kept saying that in the first episode, too, because he followed every instruction given to him by his superior, so he did everything right, you know?
You let her in that room, inside the plastic, touching him. Did you know she's pregnant?
It's not true.
What have you done? What kind of a place is this? Where is her protection? Do you have any idea what you're dealing with?
Of course I do. Please, I don't.
No. People are going to hear about this.
Wait.
People are going to hear. Do you understand? Everyone is going to hear.
What is everyone going to hear?
I'm with the official Chernobyl Commission. I've been authorized by Valery Legasov. You can check this. My name is Ulana.
We know who you are. What is everyone going to hear?
Who are they?
Who are they? It's the KGB.
Yeah.
Duh.
The miners are working heroically to ensure that the fuel does not reach the groundwater. And furthermore, there's no longer a threat of additional explosion. The Soviet people have faced the challenge and risen to the task, and they and everyone in this room are to be commended. Comrade Charkov, we hope we have lived up to the highest standards of the KGB.
You have.
Thank you. Professor Legasov will now speak about the work that remains.
He gets to deliver the good news, and Legasov has to deliver all the bad news.
How many deaths?
Thousands. Perhaps tens of thousands.
Damn.
Begin at once.
I would really not like the KGB guy watching me.
No.
The KGB is a circle of accountability, nothing more.
You know the work we're doing here. You really don't trust us.
Of course I do. But you know the old Russian proverb, trust but verify. And the Americans think that Ronald Reagan thought that up. Can you imagine? It was very nice speaking to you.
I need help.
So you will be accountable for her? Then it's done.
Her name?
I know who she is. Good day, Professor.
That went surprisingly well. You came off like a naive idiot. Naive idiots are not a threat.
Yeah. Sorry.
All right.
Yeah, just getting stiff.
I'll come back when the paperwork's complete.
That pattern on the walls looks like a level in GoldenEye, doesn't it?
Oh.
Yeah,
the N64 game?
A room with a... doesn't matter.
The stack, right?
They were stupid. I was stupid. Dyatlov won't talk to me. Akimov, yes. Dobtonov, yes, but... Valery. Akimov. His face was gone.
You want to stop?
Is that a choice I even have?
You could stay here.
Maybe the core will melt through to the groundwater. Maybe the miners I've told to dig under the reactor will save millions of lives. Maybe I'm killing them for nothing. I don't want to do this anymore.
Because the camera is like shaky.
Akimov says they shut the reactor down, and Toptonov confirms it. They pressed AZ-5.
Apparently not soon enough.
No. They say Akimov pressed AZ-5, and then the reactor exploded.
We have to pursue every possibility, no matter how unlikely, no matter what or who is to blame.
I'll go back to the hospital and re-interview Akimov and Toptonov. If they're still awake.
They're not.
On mute.
Most shows that have a line like, we have to believe whatever explanation, no matter how unlikely, are about to introduce a supernatural explanation.
Yeah,
right.
So, I'm glad Chernobyl's not doing that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, the two guys were in a particularly interesting situation where, like, what do they have to lose for lying? Like,
Yeah.
you know, what are they going to do? Torture them to death?
No, all they're
You
going
know?
to do is tell you what they remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if it was their own mistake, they'd probably say so.
Yeah.
It's just, this show really helps you conceptualize the Chernobyl disaster not as an event, but as like an event that caused an ongoing disaster of just so much work required to make up for what happened. You know?
Right. The cleanup is immense.
Like, the mistake that these people made becomes like a force of nature that everyone else is now contending with.
Yeah.
Psychologically, that's such a stark
I know.
difference from being buried in Earth, you know?
Yeah.
It's like sealed in a metal casket and then covered in concrete. It seems so, like, disrespectful.
Right,
But
is
it's
it-
also just
yeah.
kind of like, what you gotta do.
It's what's needed to do to prevent the harm from spreading, but it feels more like a horrible fate than like being laid to rest, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's
Which, it's all symbolic, I know.
Yeah, but now like they have to be they become a monument of the mistake.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, that block of tar is probably still there in the
It's
exact
concrete,
form.
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
But
it's probably still there, just like it was.
And imagine your loved one is inside. Like that's
it's incredibly dark. Dude.
all right. Well, we've crossed the halfway mark, fellas.
Yeah.
Jeez.
How are you feeling about HBO's Chernobyl?
I love it. It's great because I mean it really does a great job of kind of like forcing you to see the true horror. And it's just like the sort of slow, prolonged horror of everything.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like a regular explosion where it happens and some people die in a shockwave or whatever and then it's just done. It's like the bomb that keeps exploding and exploding and exploding for a long period of time and slowly just kind of literally melts things away.
And we have like with a disaster, like an explosion, a gas main explodes, there's an immediate response, and it's almost like the people at that level can just deal with it and then be done with it. But this is such a huge thing, it has to be digested by this whole system in Soviet Russia. And they do a great job of like kind of showing how that system is so slow to move, so much inertia to get in order.
Well, not only that, but just the nature of the problem too is so unprecedented. Like they have to start figuring out what even is it that happened after they're already losing time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's
devastating. And they just did such a good job. I don't gush about makeup very often, but like the performance and the makeup of the victims of the extreme radiation it was literally making my skin crawl.
Yeah.
I know this is a TV show. I know this isn't a documentary, but even still, like I could just feel the pain in my like head. Yeah, it's awful.
Very upsetting stuff.
Yeah.
And compelling, you know, like you hear about this. You know, when I was young, I heard that there was some sort of nuclear disaster from the Chernobyl power plant, and it was, you know, devastating to Russia. But this really spells it out.
People just say it in a list of other nuclear disasters. You know, people say like 3 Mile Island and Chernobyl, and you know, recently like Fukushima and stuff like that. But you know, the details of them, I had never thought about until I saw this show.
Right, and the scope of how far it would affect things. Right.
How much worse it could get if they didn't act quickly, and you know, like this is bad and is going to be worse unless we take action and sacrifice people, you know.
Yeah. Lots of people.
Well, I like the contrast because in a dramatic, you know, in a piece of fiction, you know, you have like when Gorbachev says, you know, you have access to anything, like anything you want, you'll get. Like that solves the problem. That's the end of it. But then you come out, Legasov's like, well, here's all we have to do, like all of these things, and it's going to take at least 3 years. And almost 1 million men, and
people will die.
People will die.
Thousands, 10,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
Insanity.
I don't envy the people who had to clean it up.
Almost 1 million people. Apologize. That was, somebody called that out in the comments. We assumed a character in the first episode was a nurse.
Oh yeah,
and they were a doctor because there was a lot of gender equality push in Soviet Russia.
That's right, yes.
Like a lot of female doctors, which I was looking at this through the lens of an American looking back at that time period and saying there weren't a lot of female doctors in the United States during that time. So,
in the 80s, by then, were there not? I don't know. I guess I'm not. But I can definitely see how you would have that.
Yeah, it was
you
like
know,
old
certainly
timey,
our impression of the past in our country as that gender divide. Doctors were more.
I just in our defense, I don't think we were making the assumption that they weren't doctors. We were looking at it through the lens of an American looking back in American history.
It was in passing, yes. We were Americans watching television. It was a lady in a medical setting with a man in a white coat standing next to her. She's coded as the nurse in TV language. Yeah, that's what that's about, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah.
Yeah, this is really fascinating. And I guess I also didn't really understand. I guess I kind of assumed that everyone just like dipped out of there, you know, and then they
were
just sort of
like run, leave it,
And apparently they had to prevent it from exploding, and they had to prevent it from melting down and poisoning everything, and it's just like it just seems like it. We got to be really careful with this stuff, guys.
Well, and were you paying attention there to what Legasov was saying needed doing in terms of the like containment of further disaster?
They got to turn over forests. They got to kill all the wildlife.
Yeah.
They got to.
Well, he said all animals in the area, whether wild or domestic. So yeah, that's
all the pets.
Right.
No one gets to. Yeah. And I wonder if the human animal is considered in when he said that, if they were thinking like,
no,
you know,
I don't think you don't you don't need to stack an atrocity on top of this.
No, I guess not. But
that is, I mean, that's like
we're not immune to the, you know,
birds, deer, like anything,
How do you catch all the birds?
Right, exactly.
That seems like quite an undertaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Kind of awe-inspiring. Man, HBO did a great job with this. It's pretty.
And Sky, I think, also produced it as well.
Yeah.
Mind-blowing. Yeah. Really makes me appreciate the gravity of this event.
And just sort of, I mean, you know, there's the horror of the accident itself and of the nature of what they're dealing with, but I also think there's an inspiring element to it of people being able to come together even in spite of the machinery that they live within working against them still. And like the miners are a good example of that, you know, or like the one guy who, you know, he was in this episode too, but the guy who, when they got the high range dosimeter, And they were like, it's going to be dangerous to get near with this. He was like, then I'll do it. You know?
Yeah,
It's
the
like
general.
Yeah. I think it's that Mr. Rogers thing of in any disaster situation, look for the helpers. There are always people who are helping. You know? It's like, I think that's an inspiring thing about humanity is that people step up when the time comes.
And it's like I'm not putting it down. I'm not putting down their actions. It is a situation where the right thing to do is very obvious, and like, how can you say no to that?
Right.
But they're also being told to do it by an authority, and they're very clearly almost every time being like, I'll do it for two reasons. Because you're telling me I have to, and because I'm doing it for everyone like me. I'm not doing it for you.
Yeah.
You know, like when the coal minister came and they were all like tapping him, they were like, now you look like the, you know, like just showing him that little bit of disrespect before they walked off to their almost assured death. It's
or
like,
in the last episode, when they were getting the guys to volunteer to go down and open the tanks, you know, and Stellan Skarsgård was like, I'm telling you that it needs to be done. You're the only ones who can, and if you don't, millions will die. And if you say that's not enough, I don't believe you.
Yeah.
It's like, it's the right thing. It's clear as day.
Yeah. A lot of heroes in this story.
Definitely.
Well, guys, anything else?
No. I think that's about it for Chernobyl episode 3. Open Wide O Earth.
Yep. Yes. Thanks for watching, everybody. It's always great to see more. We're getting a huge spike in watchership, so that's awesome to see. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining us for Chernobyl, and
all the new viewers, welcome. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you. And we'll catch you next time. I'm Nate.
I'm Sean.
I'm Lewis.
And this is Catch Up Packets.